Hi, welcome to iBloom. In this lesson, we will cover future perfect progressive, and the future with dependent clauses. Future perfect. The future perfect is used to express the idea that an action will be completed in the future before another event or before another specific time in the future. The future perfect is formed with will have plus past participle. By the time my children are grown, scientists will have found a solution to global warming. By the time my children are grown, scientists will have found a solution to global warming. We have will have plus found. Found is the past participle of the verb find. Find, found, have, or has found. The car company will have introduced their new models by November. The car company will have introduced. Will have plus introduced, which is past participle. It is the past participle for introduce. It is a regular verb, so the past participle is only by adding ed. The car company will have introduced their new models by November. Have a look at this timeline. Now I'm talking about the future. We have two events. Which one will happen first and which one will happen second? Remember the sentences? Let's go back to our sentences and see. By the time my children are grown, scientists will have found a solution to global warming. So first thing in the future, what will happen? The first event is scientists will have found a solution to global warming. Second event is my children are grown. The word by here means before. By the time my children are grown, before the time my children are grown. So first thing in the future, scientists will have found a solution to global warming. Second event, my children are grown. Let's have a look at the second sentence. Can you do the same? Can you apply this sentence on the timeline? The car company will have introduced their new models by November. Which will happen first in the future and which will happen next? Yes. First event is the car company will have introduced their new models. Second event is November. Remember, we said by November means before November. Future perfect progressive. The future perfect progressive is used to focus on the duration of an action that will be happening in the future before another time or event happens in the future. The future perfect progressive is formed with will have plus been plus present participle. Present participle. Example, by the year 2020, people will have been flying for 117 years. By the year 2020, people will have been flying, will have plus been plus present participle verb with ing. We call it present participle. By the year 2020, people will have been flying for 117 years. Note, Sometimes either the future perfect or the future perfect progressive can be used to express the same idea. Example, by 2020, I will have been living in Sao Paulo for 15 years. By 2020, I will have been living in Sao Paulo for 15 years. Will have plus pen plus present participle. This is the future perfect progressive. I can say the same sentence but with the future perfect. By 2020, I will have lived in Sao Paulo for 15 years. I will have lived, will have plus past participle. This is a future perfect. By 2020, I will have lived in Sao Paulo for 15 years. So we have the same meaning here, but with different tenses. Now, let's apply our future perfect progressive sentence on the timeline. Which event happened first and which event happened next? By the year 2020, people will have been flying for 117 years. Can you guess? Oh yeah. First event will have been flying. This is first in the future. Then the year 2020 means before the year 2020, people will have been flying for 117 years. The future with dependent time clauses. We can talk about a future event using a time clause with when, before, after, while, until, and since. A present tense verb form, not a future form, is used in the time clause, and will or be going to are used in the main clause. Example, my father will keep using his old-fashioned cord phone until it breaks. Here, my father will keep. We use will to show we are talking about the future. My father will keep using his old-fashioned cord phone until it breaks. We use time clause until, and then we have the verb breaks is used in the present tense, not the future. Another example, when he finishes working on his invention, he's going to let me try it out. When, time expression or time clause. When he finishes, in the time clause we use present tense. When he finishes working on his invention, he's going to let me try it out. He's going, he's going. This is the future expression. He's going to let me try it out when he finishes working on his invention. The time clause is when he finishes working on his invention. This part of the sentence, we call it time clause. After the comma, he's going to let me try it out. This is the main clause. This clause is future, whereas the time clause we use present tense. When he finishes working on his invention, he's going to let me try it out. Now let's have some practice. Use the future perfect to combine the future event into one sentence using by or by the time. First event, I will fall asleep. Second event, this DVD film will be over. Can you combine these two parts by using by or by the time? And remember, which tense are we going to use? Can you think? Sure! I will have fallen asleep by the time this DVD film is over. I will have fallen asleep. Will have fallen asleep by the time this DVD film is over. Let's have another one and check your understanding even more. First event, he will learn to drive. Second event, he will graduate. Can you think? Wow, can't believe how well you're doing. He will have learned to drive by the time he graduates. He will have learned to drive by the time he graduates. Now, can you use the future perfect progressive in this sentence? By it, you, future perfect progressive. By it, you study. What can you do to the verb here? For 4 hours. You're talking about time duration. For 4 hours. Yeah. By it, you will have been studying for 4 hours. You will have been studying for 4 hours. Now, the last point of our lesson, future perfect progressive. Put the verbs in parentheses in either the future tense will or be going to or the present tense. He ran to the store before it start raining. Can you change the verbs here or put the verbs in the correct form? He ran to the store before it start raining. What changes can you make here? Yeah, he will run to the store before it starts raining. He will run, this is the future, this is the main clause. Before it starts raining, this is the time clause. Check the other one. What can you use here, will or be going to? Let's see. You argue with me until I change my mind. What changes can you make here? Yeah, you're doing really great. Are you going to argue with me until I change my mind? Are you going to argue with me until I change my mind? We have main clause in the future and time clause, which is present simple. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.